Well, I think it's one of those things where I think the U.S. is thinking about how it actually protects its assets when it comes to AI technologies. But I do think that for companies like ours, where we're shipping globally, we want to be able to actually enable AI innovation across the world. And so we're trying to watch this very, very closely. We do think that AI is going to be a technology that affects everybody across the planet. And it's just a matter of how we do it in a way that allows us to actually adhere to, to the way that the U.S. government is actually trying to manage this.
And the reason I ask the question is because this could have really significant impacts on the global semiconductor supply chain. What impact might it have for your business? Have you been doing any assessments on how this could ultimately change your own strategy?
No, I think we'll continue to build technologies. We're a chip company that focuses on production AI, and so we're driving technologies that allow you to actually take AI into broad scale and do it efficiently. And this is happening across the planet. We certainly are a main supplier into the Middle East, and so we want to continue to be able to advocate for being able to ship into that region. But we do it in ways that the U.S. government it follows those rules. But I do think that the market is so big, and we're seeing so much interest across the world that for us it doesn't change what we do. It's just a matter of continuing to make sure that we provide competitive products and allow us to help our clients be able to actually use the technology in a way that actually helps them.
Okay, so how do you see the competitive landscape actually evolving in the AI chip market now? You're saying you're sending some of your product into the Middle East. If we saw some regulatory changes stateside, then that could also potentially impact your business, I would assume. So what does this mean broadly for the market?
Well, look, I think the U.S. is going to apply these things consistently across the market, and that's what we look for, that there is a fair playing field. And I think if you look at kind of where we are, the pockets of where AI is actually starting to really take off, it's across the world. It's not just in the Middle East. You see it in Asia, you see it in Japan, you see it in Southeast Asia, and certainly in certain many segments across the United States. And so for us, as a company that is emerging and really focusing on building production and driving hard into delivering that scale, it just means that we reorder some things and how we actually invest our time in different regions. But today it's still early. I think it's the processes for how to ship into some of these regions hasn't changed. We will work with the government on that, but we'll watch it very closely and see how things evolve and adjust when things happen.
Just out of curiosity, are you in conversation with US regulators or authorities on this?
No, I mean, I think we're always in constant conversations, but to us, it's about just making sure we stay on top of all the different regulations that are coming, and it's just not only the U.S. side. It's also there are things that we have to make sure that we follow on the importing side into other regions as well, and so it's something that we are very aware of. And as a global company shipping into all these different regions, we're always going to be very closely in touch with how different countries are importing and exporting technologies.
What exactly are you sending to the Middle East right now, and where?
So we power, we're sending hardware infrastructure that goes to train and inference models into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We power Saudi Aramco, and it's a great company that has done tremendous things, really focusing around how to take AI into production and actually driving significant value for their operations day to day. And so today we power their internal technologies for Saudi Aramco, and we've been there for a year. And so we'll continue to actually deliver that level of technology, where you're training your private data into these models and then be able to use it within your corporation to drive efficiencies in your actual day-to-day operation.
Okay, so I appreciate you giving us some context and understanding of exactly where the footprint lands here for SambaNova in the Middle East and what it ultimately means, referring back to the potential regulatory changes we could see in the United States. Rodrigo, let's push the conversation forward here. I also wanted to ask you about something else you're working on. It's called Agentic AI. What is Agentic AI? How does it differ from other AI co-pilots?
Well, I think one of the things that we're really seeing that's exciting about this is the world's going to production when it comes to artificial intelligence. And by that, I mean, you're starting to think about these little agents that can be very, very efficient and very accurate doing certain tasks. and allowing you to actually start, chaining these things into workflows. And so if you think about our everyday workflow, the way that humans work, it would do some portion of the work when we pass it on to somebody else. And so now, we're arriving at a point where for artificial intelligence, you can create these agents, you can chain them and create workflows dynamically that can operate in a very, very sophisticated and very accurate way that allows us to actually elevate the productivity of the workforce and elevate the productivity of companies by being able to string these and customize it in a way that the business actually works. And so instead of having bots that only assist one individual person, you're now moving into an era where enterprises can create these workflows and humans can actually then use these workflows in order to increase their productivity.
And as you say, the race for higher AI inference speed clearly intensifying. How does SambaNova plan to grow from here? What's the growth strategy moving forward? The valuation's pretty rich, so what's the strategy?
Well, you're looking in comparison to NVIDIA, I think valuations are for companies like ours, still got a ways to go. But I do think that, look, the world is going into production when it comes to AI. And by that, I mean these models that we've been training over the last 3, 4, 5 years, they're not going into a production use case. And so that's called inferencing in the world of AI. And so as you see businesses now take the investments they've made over the last 3, 4 years, training models, using their data, training them into these very large models and bringing them into production, now you're starting to see the value come out. This is where you see the efficiency of businesses starting to show up as it leverages the technology. And so we're super excited about it. SambaNova is all about driving AI technologies into production, and we're starting to see this starting to take off. And I think inferencing speed is one of those key metrics that will drive corporate efficiency when it comes to AI, because you want to drive it with not just cost being down, but also driving production with very, very low power, which, as we all talk about, is one of the other constraints that we now have across the planet, finding enough energy to be able to power these AI systems.